And this vid's on how to set up your controller. Well, not how to set up your controller, how I use my controller with AMS2 v1.6.3. It's changed a little bit, not how you set it up, but the feel has changed and it's gotten a lot better. So thought to myself, hey, this is something I would like to see a video on controllers. So here's mine. My basic setup for anybody out there who this may help. Um, the controller is real simple. My steering dead zone is set to 5. Everything else is 0. Speed sensitivity set to 100. Keep everything straight at high speeds. Controller dampening set to 40. This helps when it comes to turns and going into turns and coming out of turns into straights. And controller vibration, which I normally in the app have set to 100, and then in the game I put it to 20 because it creates a nice soft arc for the rumble experience. And I use the Elite 2, and so the Elite 2 is really sensitive, so it's a good experience. Also, when it comes to stability, I found that when it comes to using a controller on games on the managed engine style game, particularly like Project Cars 2 or even Project Cars 1, but let's say Project Cars 2 and AMS2, is to run stability off and to run traction at low. What this does is there's like nothing in between you and the car and the tarmac kind of a thing. So if it begins to slip, there's way more leeway you have versus if stability control was on, it wouldn't slip. It would only when it did slip, you're about to die kind of a slip type of thing because you're already at max on the car and everything like that. But when you have the stability control off, real subtle moments of where the car starts to break out a little bit, you can feel that when you're driving. Same thing when it comes to traction control, because when you have traction control set to high, you rarely will feel the wheels slip. And so you're slamming on the gas, slamming on the gas, slamming on the gas, and until you hit a particular turn or an incline or something like that, or a wet patch, and next thing you know, you do the same type of slamming on the gas, and you're spinning out all over the place. So keeping it set to low, I found allows me to feel the wheels slip, which keeps it more of a reminder to me to be mindful of how I apply the gas, and once again creates a more consistent overall experience. And so the car doesn't do anything amazing or disastrous like snap out of nowhere. And I had, like, say I'm doing like 7 laps, 6 perfect laps, and all of a sudden on that last 7 laps, it decides, I hit some little thing and it just flies everywhere, that type of thing. So it all works out. But I just want to mention that because the stability control being off, that's actually a big deal in my overall experience. And of course, in my camera, my monitor is about 2.5 feet away from me, something like that. So I have my monitor set to 47, and I have all the G-forces turned off. But I do like to have the high-speed shake on, and I do like the legacy mode on. It feels that the camera and the car feel in sync with each other as they're going over the small bumps and stuff like that in the road, and it feels natural of an experience when I'm in it. Okay, so all of that being said, let's go grab a car, put it on the road just for one or two corners, and then make an adjustment, then adjust it, because what's going to have to be adjusted more likely when it comes to the high-speed cars, because I'm going to pick a car that I rarely drive, the ones that are hard to drive for me, which are the Formula cars. Always have been, but recently in 1.6.3 they're not. The very first thing is because the differential setup, because you have such a short stroke when it comes to your controller, that you can apply the power so fast that car will break out on you and snap out on you in no time. But we have control over that. So let's put it on the track real quick. We'll talk another video, talk about weather and AI and stuff like that. But we're going to put them on the track with some other cars. And this track has inclines, so it's going to be proved to be even more tricky applying the throttle. I use short sticks on my Elite 2, and I have my my triggers set all the full stroke, not short stroke on the triggers. So short sticks and full strokes on the triggers. So let's just let this load up. Alright, here we are, we're in
87 laps, they can count. The track temp is 87 Fahrenheit.
Okay.
The air temp is 71. Okay, Brent, get ready.
Alright, so we're in it now. I have my volume down low just to make sure the microphone carries out right. The car's pretty straight. Okay. Feels straight. So I'm not. So with its default setup, I'm not experiencing any weird wiggle or anything like that, or any braking traction. But let's take them around. Whoa! See,
on your left, clear left.
All right, so that's the differentials kicking in. Whoa! Here it is again.
Left side.
Without hitting people.
Car left.
Now up the hill is the most difficult one because I want to apply gas, and you see it's going to oversteer. All right, but so we already see it happening here. So let's go in and go to setup real fast. Go to advanced. Let's go all the way up to the drivetrain. Let's go straight into the rear differential, and we're just going to drop this out because the differential is what helps the car to turn. But when you have such a short stroke on your controller, that applying that amount of pressure to the tires that quick, with this ability to turn better or to shift power per wheel with the differential, will cause the car to do what I was just doing, oversteering, right? So we're just going to drop it all the way down. We're going to go to suspension. We're just going to tone. I really don't have to tow them in, but we're going to tow them in because let's say I ever hit some wet weather. Towing in is going to, for the rear wheels, is going to keep the car going straight. So it'll keep you from zigzagging and stuff like that, or becoming unstable during wet weather, particularly. And if all of that failed, then I would soften up the anti-roll bar, which will allow the wheel to independently plant themselves better on the actual corner. But I haven't had to do that in 1.6.3 much, so we'll leave that alone. But we made these adjustments. Let's go and save it real quick. Alright, just gonna call it diff. Alright. Now let's go again.
Go, go, go.
Alright. I'm just gonna drop back in my seat just a little bit. It's a little stiff. Alright. Whoa. Whoa. Alright, let's keep it straight.
Left side, clear left.
Now, of course, we're only on,
Clear left.
only in the first few turns, so our tires are not warmed up nicely or anything like that. But the handling, so let's say going up this hill, I'm applying pressure now, and it barely oversteered. It just really corrected itself. Remember, and we don't have stability control on. Look at that, nice. That's nice. All right, we'll go around for a full lap. Let's see if we can just overtake this guy here. See if we can get into some kind of a race mode. Let's just dive
Right
in.
side.
There you go. Keep on the tarmac.
Clear right.
All right, there we go. There we go. Yep, inching it up. Car's nice and stable.
On your left.
I can just sit on the gas,
Hold your line. Clear left.
adjusting it, lifting and adjusting. Now here's the tricky part because we have some serious inclines coming up here. This is where the car would break out.
On your left.
And
Clear
there it is. We got straight. There it
Car
is.
left.
And I'm just on the gas. Oh, see,
Still
we just
there.
began to break out. Here we go.
Clear left.
Alright, now we can just cruise on in here. I'm all up on him, come on.
On your left.
And there you go.
Clear left.
Right? So now we have full control over the car, and this, for me, the Formula One type cars are the
16th place. 2 laps
most
of fuel
difficult
remaining.
ones to have control over. And so in 1.6.3, you know, with the new tire model and everything like that, or the improved tire model, is incredible. And so those are just, to me, the small adjustments a person needs to make, as I showed in the controller settings, that I particularly do and make to have the car be locked on. So
Okay,
you'll have
the
full
next car
range
is Herta.
of all the cars in the game's catalog to be able to drive, instead of it being like, I remember when I was in Project Cars 2, of like, you know, it was like GT3 on down. You know, anything higher than GT3, you know, I couldn't control it. It's just because even though I could steer and the controller was giving me feedback and everything, I just couldn't. There was always going to be a point where the car was going to snap out. And look at it go now.
You're reeling, Herta.
Yeah,
left.
let me just overtake him without touching.
Still there. Clear left.
All right. Okay. But that's what I want to show. And let me just get over this rise, because this is the most
The
difficult.
guy ahead of us is Britain.
There you go. Come on. If we can just get up this rise, look at that shifting of weight. If we can just get up there and get to the finish line.
The leader has just done a
There we go.
135.04.
And there we go. Come on. Around it. Here we go.
Left side. Clear left.
Flying. Gas. There you go. There you go. We're flying.
Nice one,
Yeah.
Brent. Great move. Keep it up.
All right. So hopefully this video helps somebody. Okay.
Next car is
163 is
Goodman,
awesome.
V14.